Hello everyone and welcome to Self-Empowerment TV. I'm Brad Johnson, and of course I do have a very special guest, another fellow channeler, Julie Migneault. Thank you very much, Julie, for being a part of Self-Empowerment TV today. I want to thank you for, again, allowing this interview time to happen today. How's things going on your end today?
Great, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Julie, would you like to tell a little bit more about yourself, about how the entire channeling experience happened for you, how you got into it, and what brought you further into the process of being a channel?
Sure. I actually started, I grew up in New England, so I'm in very northeast, embedded in the northeast culture of our country. And I went to business school and I got my MBA, and I was really steeped in a corporate lifestyle. I was traveling internationally, doing international business, and I was starting to feel unfulfilled. Like I had spent all this time creating this career and it wasn't really meeting some deeper part of me that I wasn't in touch with. And a few other things going on in my life led me to start looking for things that would bring that deeper fulfillment. And of course, they weren't outside of me, but just finding people on a spiritual path, I came across some channel guidance. Actually, someone told me to read an Abraham Hicks book. I'm sure you're familiar,
Yes.
a lot of people are familiar.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was really not on a spiritual path. I wasn't open to things beyond the scene at that point. And when I opened the book, I started reading it, and the first thing it talks about, the collective, or Abraham, who Esther Hicks channels, is writing, saying, she's writing their words saying, we are non-physical beings, blah, blah, blah. And I remember just kind of passing over that, like, okay, well, I trust the person who gave this to me, but I don't know what this is. And as I continued to read, tears just started streaming down my face because I could feel truth. I could feel the essence of truth, a deeper truth. And as I continued to read, I went through a bunch of the books. Something began to just naturally open. And I remember sitting and making a commitment to myself, just in my own head, but quite loudly, that I wasn't going to go outside of myself for that level of truth, for my own truth anymore. And it was almost like one of those moments where you can look back and see that that was like a turning point in my life, because as I made that commitment to myself, my life began to change drastically. I started to work with women who channeled for me. I started to my desire for wellness, which was the only word I had for it, became a desire for deep spiritual connection to myself. And I enrolled at the Barbara Brennan School of Healing, and I spent the last 4 years in a very intense deep dive there. And as I was doing my own personal work of transformation and transpersonal psychology is what I would kind of call it, my gifts started to open. And that led to me feeling the presence of another energy or a bigger part of myself. I'm not even sure what it is, but really close to me, this higher vibration energy. I would feel it on my back, and I knew it wanted to speak through me. It wanted to come through my being. And so that's how I started to work with the collective that I channel, which is just multiple aspects of the divine feminine. The first part of it that came through and announced itself to me as Shakti. And I remember it scaring me, like, I'm going to channel Shakti. And as I've evolved with the channeling and began to share it, I realized it's a much bigger collective. And now I really sense it as this integrated aspect of the greater whole that I have access to that can speak to me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. It's very similar to what I do with channeling what's known as the Consortium of Infinite Intelligence, which isn't really just one, but you could say a legion that then becomes one. So I totally understand exactly what you mean by that. With the channeling process, was there any particular type of method that you felt helped you to purify your connection with the Divine Feminine Collective?
I highly recommend. It's called The Heart and Art of Channeling by Diana Muniz Chen. She is almost like the textbook on channeling. I know there's a few books. So that's one that I have read. My methodology was really to listen to my inner guidance. You know, I remember before I was actually ready to channel, wanting to channel and sitting down with a friend who was also spiritually open, and we were trying, and it didn't work. You know, it was just like I was trying to push and force something, when in actuality what the methodology was is I was being guided through a series of transformational processes in my own being that created the openness that I needed to be able to do this work. So for me, it's number one thing for those who want to channel is their own inner work. Because the places that we're not open within ourselves, that we're not connected to ourselves, are the places that we block deeper emerging. So that's number one. And then the second one is just opening to receive, which also happens through inner work. Opening to receive. That we kind of can get that intellectually, but it's actually a very subtle shift in our being that makes us very vulnerable. When we open to receive, we're not in control so much anymore. We're sort of allowing what wants to come towards us. And so it's a cellular shift. Yeah. Kind of holding it as we speak. The other part is trust. You know, there's a lot of people that come to me and want to learn how to channel. They have a lot of fear around it. And for me, it was my own, what was part of my own working through the kinks, I'd say, was I'm allowing this part of me, this greater part, this collective, to speak through me, which means my ego has to go away. It has to step aside, and I have to give up that control, that sense that I'm in control for that moment. And that took some some surrender and some opening, and that was scary. That was the scary part. Like, what's going to come through me? What if I don't know what it is before it comes through? Is it safe? Yeah. So that was also part of it. But I would sit in meditation and a focused intention, and that on a practical level, that's how I practice this.
What do you share with people, again, who do want to channel, who feel that that is a great framework of their fear, that if they go into a channeling state, sometimes they'll feel, oh my goodness, am I going to be possessed, or is something negative going to take over me? Is there any particular type of advice that you would give for people who feel that channeling is very interesting, but they may have those particular type of fears?
Yeah. I would say that take that fear and embrace it and work with it to move through it, because it will be an obstacle to you channeling. So I say work with a healer, work with someone who can support you in really getting to the core of what that is. And that's the reason channeling is a gift, is because it helps you to do that growth work. And that growth work is going to serve all aspects of your life. Moving through that fear is going to serve all aspects of your life. And so don't bypass the fear in order to channel. Let the fear be embraced as something to grow through, so that when you come back, as you work through that fear, and it might be that you work through a little bit of it and you access some channeling, and then you work through some more of it. For me, it definitely wasn't a linear process that all of my fears, all of my inner work was done and then I could channel. It's sort of, as I do more inner work, I'm able to expand further into this gift and integrate it more further into my being in my daily life. So I would say really look at the places that feel uncomfortable around it, and let those be the teachers that bring you back into channeling. And a really great, safe way to start is automatic writing. I'm sure that, have you done automatic writing?
Yes, I have done that. And I think that's a great first step as well for many people, is just being able to, some people may just be able to write poetry, or some people may even be able to draw, or, paint. That again just represents a really good strong basic as well too, for the channeling state as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that as well. But with the Divine Feminine Collective, what type of messages have they shared with you that have really helped to encourage your growth and your expansion into channeling?
It's a great question that I've really thought about. The reason I haven't thought about it in that way is because I was telling a friend this the other day, it's starting to become so integrated. It's not like, before I used to expand into this different state of being that felt so different, so open and alive. And as I've done this over the years, I feel like I more fluidly move in and out of that state. I'm more fluidly connected to that guidance. So it's sort of like not something outside of myself anymore, but what that collective has taught me, and that the experience has taught me, is in my own growth, that opening to my own feminine aspect of my own being. What does it mean to receive? What are the ways that I move away from that how do I go outside of myself? How do I use my masculine energy as a way to try to make something happen when it's all really right here in this moment? I think those have been some of the really profound lessons. And also, the collective has really helped me to sit in the state of the unknown, in a really deep place of the void in myself, where like all creation stems from. They sort of hold that vibration. When I'm in that state, I'm holding that vibration. And that's been a really beautiful gift, because as I get more comfortable being in the unknown, the known becomes more known, and it becomes more peaceful. The known becomes more peaceful. I just read a quote about that the other day. I'm like, my yogi tea. When we embrace the unknown, the known becomes more peaceful. And that's definitely been my experience.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So would you be willing to bring in the Divine Feminine Collective for a conversation with us today?
So when I do this, I keep my eyes closed. It'll take me a minute of silence just to make the transition, and then they'll announce themselves in some way, and
sure.
You can ask questions or just begin to have a conversation. Does that sound good?
No problem. It's very similar to how I channel, so absolutely. Take your time, and looking forward to speaking with them.
Great. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Yes, pleasure to connect with you on this day here.
Is there anything that you can tell us about yourselves and your relationship to Julie?
What we can say about ourselves, as you put it, is that we are an aspect of consciousness that each and every one of you have access to. Within each and every particle of your being is the balance of what you term the masculine and feminine energies. And part of the reason that we come through this channel is to support each of you in bringing more balance within yourself, on a cellular level, within yourself, and on the greater whole level of the energies of the receptive feminine and the action-oriented masculine. Do you understand?
Yes.
And as we come through this being, we come through because there is an openness within her, this channel, to express that and to be an individuated expression of how this energy of the feminine moves, how it expresses, how it is in her expressing, is a way for us to transmit that vibration so that each of you may have access to it within your own self. Do you understand, dear?
Yes, I do. Thank you. With the type of association that you have to the channeling state, is there a specific form of sharing or a message that you would like to convey to others that may be within your presence?
Yes. One of our most favorite topics to touch upon is this journey inward, this journey to reclaim the connection with your own inner being. And so one of our primary messages that this channel is aligned with is that everything that you're seeking is within yourself. You, each of you, are individual expressions of source energy. Each of you have the capacity to express the true nature that you are in very unique and individual ways. And we say, embrace that opportunity. Embrace it wholeheartedly and know that it is not by setting some external expectation on yourself or another and moving towards it. It is in the journey inward to knowing yourself and to finding the places where you have disconnected from your true self that you are able to then live a life where the essence of who you are touches everything that you do. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
It's a turning around, a paradigm shift of the way that culturally many of you have been taught to create your lives. This is what works, this is what we should be doing, this is what will bring satisfaction, and then you move towards it. When we would suggest the first step is a deep inner listening. a connecting, a moving through that which blocks the connection within yourself, and from there unfolding, allowing that excitement, that clarity to lead you forward.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. So relating to your presence again with your energies, is it possible for others to be able to connect with your energies to receive similar types of presence from yourself in this way?
Yes, we come through this channel in an unique individual form, but we are an aspect of the greater whole. So each of you have it, as we mentioned, the divine feminine, the pure essence of your feminine self and the pure essence of your masculine self, which make up your pure essence. Each of you have that in every particle of your being. And so we would say, can you channel us? No, because you cannot, we come through this individual expression through this channel. But can you channel that greater part of yourself and the whole? Absolutely. It will look and feel slightly different, and yet there is nothing outside of you that cannot be found within you. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. So therefore, it would be very similar to how an individual would be able to channel aspects of the masculine or the feminine, but in their own unique way, basically having their own flavor to communicate with the monadic consciousness, which represents either the feminine and or masculine energies.
Yes. And we also bring forth the archetypes of the feminine. So this particular channel could perhaps access one aspect of the feminine, such as Shakti, who is present in this collective, or Isis, and feel the different flavors of those archetypes to transmit them. So that is another way in which we utilize this particular channel to assist those in understanding the benefits of embracing a particular quality of your being that you may need, desire, or want to embrace for your own growth. You understand?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. So what I would ask you now is just what is your current perspective relating to humanity, relating to Earth, and relating to our trending, or should I say expansion of energies of what we're currently going through on this planet? What is your particular perspective on that?
We see that the expansion of the energy on the planet, as you put it, has created a stirring up. And we would say embrace this stirring up. The stirring up is bringing to light things that have been operating and creating outcomes for you, and yet without your awareness. And so part of the process of expanding consciousness, of expanding your individual and collective consciousness on the planet, is being willing to look at what is stirred up. And so do not fear that which is stirred up, even in a more global perspective in your governments and societies, but instead do the work of being with the individual things that are stirred up within you from your unconscious. And as you do, as you allow them to come to the surface and you witness them, you look at them, and you embrace them to allow transformation, they support the continued expansion. And so you are in a phase that will continue for some time where it might feel uncomfortable to continually be accessing material, your stuff, the places where you've disconnected, and bringing it to the surface so that you can make the connection in a deeper way to yourself. Allow that process. It is not to be feared. And the fear actually moves you further away from it. When what needs to happen is just to allow it to shift you, to support you in remembering the depth of who you are and your source, the core of who you are. Do you understand, dear?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. And with everything that you're apparently, again, I'm trying to find a good way to put this. Apparently, with everything that your presence represents, do you feel that, I guess this is still kind of very still in the now moment, that a lot of us are within your particular state of awareness, that everything that represents your femininity is much that can be felt through humanity in the way of our growth and our, I guess you could say, transcendence into higher densities, into higher realms. Is this kind of what you're feeling based upon your collective presence?
Yes, we are here to teach you how to embody this consciousness that we hold. You understand?
Yes.
It will look different through the human form, but then we perceive it from a non-physical perspective. And that is why we come through this channel, to be an example of how you can embody this consciousness in your being, in your day-to-day life, in your relationships, in your work, in your creating of sustainable systems that support you in being in tune with the earth that you live on. You understand?
Yes, we do. Yes, I do. I'm still speaking in regards to my beings that are in the background as well, too. Yes, we understand. But thank you very much, Divine Feminine Collective. Is there a message that you wish to share with everyone before we conclude this channeling transmission?
There's nothing within you that is not your love, that is not lovable. And so, fear not what you will find as you journey inward. Know that there is nothing within you that does not deserve your own awareness. Many blessings to you.
I thank you. Hi, Julie. Welcome back. Definitely a very beautiful energy there. I could feel like a lot of feminine energy was behind me. And I think when I was saying we, I could feel a lot of them behind me as well too. We understand. So definitely a wonderful, beautiful energy that you're connected with in the channeling state. I want to thank you so much for bringing them through. Is there a particular website that people can connect with you and being able to know more about your work?
Absolutely. My website is julie-migneault.com. You can also get there by going to awakeningfeminine.com. That's an easier way to bring you to my website. And I really love to support those who are in business leadership positions or find themselves in a 9-to-5 job or a 9-to-8 job or whatever it is, and not knowing there's something more, knowing there's got to be something more than this mundane life, but not knowing exactly what it is. I've taken that journey and I love to support people on that path and help them to reconnect with something deeper that creates meaning in each and every moment. And taking that beautiful journey together is something I love to do. Oh,
wonderful. And you got the beautiful energies of Maui, Hawaii surrounding you. So again, I think that'll enrich it even further.
I left New York City to come here to Maui, and it's definitely been supportive to my well-being and vitality.
Absolutely. I'm definitely working to try and get there in there myself. So thank you so much for being here today for this wonderful interview with you and introducing us to the Divine Feminine Collective. Again, everybody can go to awakeningfeminine.com or juliemigneault.com. And thank you again, Julie. We'll have those web addresses on the video here as well. Thank you again for your presence today. Thank you again for being a part. Much love to you. Namaste. And may it be well with you.